It was picture day at school for my one and only daughter. And she wore her blue dress with white blouse and red bows in her hair.
I had just finished working on the weekend. It was my weekend shift, and I had, got my son off to school, watching the morning news.
Well, I was on duty that morning in the emergency department.
It was a blue sky, but it had like popcorn clouds. So, sunny day.
I first became aware that something had happened when I got a phone call from my executive assistant.
The next thing I remember was being called by one of the staff members into the nursing lounge to look at some video of a plane that had hit one of the World Trade Centers in New York.
My husband called, and he said, was there an explosion?
At Arlington Urgent Care, I remember the second that the plane hit the Pentagon, because our entire building started to shake.
He said it sounded like the world just ended.
I was actually sitting in a restaurant with my wife eating breakfast, and we were watching the whole World Trade Center, because of course that was on all the channels as that was playing out. And then all of a sudden it clicked over to the Pentagon. And I just looked up at the TV and I said to her, right as we were just getting our food, and said, I gotta go. And she said, what do you mean? I said, I gotta go.
Everybody in this hospital had stopped and paused because every TV was relevant at that time. And that's when we found out that the planes had hit New York, and then soon after, they had hit the Pentagon here. And the storm began.
The realization unfolded probably over an hour that this was not just an accident, that this was really an attack.
And at that point, the code yellow got called here, and the code, and everybody kind of sprung into action. We did close down the office that day, and then all of my partners, I had, in those days, 6 partners, and they all assembled at the hospital without anybody being asked to. They just came to see if they could help.
When the overhead announcement was made, and especially when word kind of started spreading that it was the Pentagon that was hit, we had an abundance of staff that came to the emergency department looking to help.
I mean, in retrospect, one of the things that's amazing is how smoothly things went that day.
We work so well together. It's not that I'm a physician, you're a nurse. It's that we're family. We all work together as a team.
I also was kind of awestruck by how well the staff here work together. This has always been a fantastic place to come with patients, and the teamwork here has always been really good. That day was outstanding.
I think it's important to emphasize that on 9/11, we had an emergency preparedness and emergency response plan. And we put that into effect on 9/11, and it served us very well.
The events of those days kind of spilled over to months and years of planning after the event.
Obviously, with the building of the new hospital, there was input from various government agencies on what kinds of things would they recommend that we have here for dealing with various kinds of disasters.
We learned that we have to be prepared for not just trauma and burns, but also chemical disasters, nuclear disasters.
We need to be prepared to do things that were previously thought of being in the realm of the EMS system. So one of those things is if people are contaminated with chemicals or radiological substances, we need to be prepared to decontaminate them. And we now have that capacity. We have purchased tents that allow us to shower people and wash people off. We have a protocol for doing so, and those tents are always at the ready, and they need to be deployed within minutes.
We're using technology that's now just becoming available, and that we can better share information so hospitals can see what surge is coming in, hospitals can see what we're doing before they ever see it at the doorstep.
At that point, we had a phone tree to notify people. We now have a much more sophisticated, we call Red Alert software product that does automatic notifications by email, by text, by phone.
And all of the hospitals in Northern Virginia came together as a result of the 9/11 event to form the Northern Virginia Hospital Alliance, whose sole purpose was to improve coordination among the hospitals in the area of disaster preparedness.
There certainly was a lot of analysis as to what we could learn from the episode, what we needed to do to recover from that.
We've established very thorough, very specific training programs for all hospital staff in dealing with large disasters and emergencies.
That day, I think we learned a lot, and I think it's changed the way that we'll do our business for quite a long time to come.
What has not changed, and I'm grateful for it, is the caliber of the people that we have here. And I can't overstate that.
I think if the same thing happened today, you'd get the same kind of response.
Everyone in this institution on that day, no matter what position you held, or the lowest man on the totem pole to the highest man on the totem pole, everybody on that day came together.
It was a difficult day for everyone, and I never would want to relive it. I felt honored to have served here that day. I feel lucky to have been on duty that day, and proud to have had such a good team to work with.
Our whole motto is to be the best hospital, to be the best urgent care center, and I think that day we proved that we are the best.
I think that our family was very proud that we were able to help our country at that time.
I think there's great camaraderie among all the people who work here, full-time staff, medical staff, nurses, doctors, technicians, housekeeping, security. Everybody it's a kind of a team effort.
We all are deeply committed to this hospital and deeply committed to the community.
Well, since 9/11, when I think about Virginia Hospital Center, I know for sure that we are well-positioned and well-planned to meet challenges like this in the future. Saying that with the great hope and prayer that we won't have to be doing that. But if we're called upon to do that, I feel confident that we can.
We had probably been through the worst, and we were okay. And we could weather any storm that came our way.
I mean, we have plans and we have resources, but if we don't have just the right people and our medical staff and as our employees, none of that's going to be adequate. And the thing that I really learned, and the thing that really gives me great pride, frankly, to be associated with this hospital is to see on 9/11 just what outstanding people we have who want to do the right thing and will do whatever it takes to ensure that our patients get the very finest patient care.